Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend preview. And we're starting off in the Premier League. We've got Championship and FA Cup this week as we journey into the last stages. But starting off with a huge game, Fulham v Leeds. Obviously Fulham, they've been on a solid run of form recently but have lost two of their last three, so maybe just dipping a bit. As for Leeds, they're not in great form either, but of course Leeds are pretty much mid-table now. For Fulham, they'll be treating this as a must-win game, and I do think they need it more, and I do think that will see them across the line. I'll say 1-0. Now moving on from one huge game in the Premier League relegation battle to another huge game in the Premier League relegation battle. On Sunday, Brighton host Newcastle. What a huge win it was for Brighton last time out against Southampton. And that means they're 3 points clear. Newcastle just a point behind them. But yeah, neither of them are out of any relegation bother. Yeah, especially with the form of Fulham. So this is a huge game for them. I can see it being really scrappy. Neither team will want to lose. So I'm going to say 0-0. Now moving on to Monday night's football and West Ham v Arsenal. West Ham, lost last time out against Manchester United. You could say perhaps unluckily, but I don't know, they've lost two of their last three now, so they'll be looking to get back on track. Arsenal, in the league, they're on some really good form. Obviously lost to Olympiacos last time out, but it doesn't matter, they still went through. But yeah, I do think West Ham will have enough here actually. I'm going to say 1-0 home victory. And then moving on, Aston Villa take on Tottenham. Tottenham, of course, they'll be looking to get immediate response after that humiliating exit in the the Europa League, it has to be said. As for Villa, they seem to have just lost that cutting edge that they had earlier in the season, so I know they'll be looking to rebound here, and both teams looking to keep their faint European hopes alive. But yeah, I think these two teams will be too evenly matched to call, so therefore I'm going to say 1-1. Now moving on to the Championship and starting off with Brentford v Nottingham Forest. Brentford, of course, that was a huge blow last time out against Derby. You really do worry what that could mean for their automatic hopes against Nottingham Forest. They're not on the greatest form either, and were comfortably beaten by Norwich in midweek. But yeah, Brentford, I think, will have the win here. Forest don't have too much to play for, so therefore I can only see a comfortable win for Brentford. I'll say 2-0. Moving on now, Barnsley host Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship. Barnsley, of course, on that incredible run of form at the moment. Just absolutely ridiculous, and they just seem to keep on rolling against Sheffield Wednesday, who of course broke their duck recently, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think they're quite close to getting a result. They're getting close against Norwich and Huddersfield, but I don't think it'll be here. I think Barnsley will have just too much for them, but complacency can't set in. I don't think it will. I'm going to say 2-0 to Barnsley. Bristol City host Rotherham at Aston Gate. Bristol City, they've had a decent week, you'd have to say. 4 points from Birmingham and Blackburn isn't a bad return. As for Rotherham, their first game back in 2 weeks, and they were humiliated 4-1 by Watford. Bristol City, they're in mid-table now, they're not going up, they're not going down. Rotherham, they're still in grave relegation danger, but I do think Bristol City will get the win here, 1-0. Coventry host Wycombe at St Andrews. Coventry, not going too well for them at the moment. They were comfortably beaten last time out by Luton 2-0. Wycombe also comfortably beaten by Barnsley. Coventry, I do think they are probably still in the relegation battle, whereas Wycombe are all but down. But I do think Coventry will get the win here just to edge them further away from the relegation zone. I'll say 1-0. Millwall host Middlesbrough in a big game in the Championship. Middlesbrough, it did look like a few weeks ago they were out of the playoff race, but 2 wins in a row now has them wondering, could they even break in with Reading and Bournemouth in consistent form? They're at Weights now, 5 points off. So it'll be interesting to see. As for Millwall, basically just comfortably in mid-table now. But I can see Borough getting a win here. I just think they need it a bit more. I'm going to say 1-0. Norwich host Blackburn at Carrow Road, and Norwich are obviously just on an incredible run. I think it's 9 in a row now or something stupid. As for Blackburn, just really inconsistent. It did look like they turned a corner a bit with a 4 point week, but a 1 point week this week, so not too good. And heading to Norwich, it's looking like it won't improve anytime soon. I can see a win here for Norwich, and I think it will be well, pretty comfortable, to be honest, especially with the way they're playing at the moment. I'll say 2-0. Preston host Luton at Deepdale. Preston on a really, really bad run of form there at the moment. Just 1 point from the last 4 games, and serious questions are starting to be asked about Alex Neil's job. Whereas Luton, they had 2 losses on the trot, but it was against Norwich and Swansea, to be fair, and they got a comfortable win last time against Coventry, so they're still doing fairly well. And I can see this being quite a close game, but I do think Preston with the home advantage might just have enough just to nick it, so I'll say 1-0. Reading host QPR in an absolutely huge game for them. They've probably got one of the rarest run-ins in the league, and yeah, just 2 points out of Bournemouth, and with Bournemouth not playing, it's an absolutely massive game for them. But with QPR in mid-table, they don't really have much to play for, and that can be a dangerous thing for Reading, especially after their comeback in the week. But I do think Reading just need it that slight bit more. I don't think it'll be easy, I think it'll be scrappy, but I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on, Stoke host Derby in what you have to say is a game where there's not a lot to play for, really. Derby, you wonder if that draw against Brentford last time out could be the turning point after a really bad run of form. They'll certainly hope so. They're not totally out of relegation dangers, but I think they probably are. But anyway, Stoke, yeah, they're basically just up in mid-table, same like Millwall. So yeah, I think they're just playing to the end of the season. But I do think Stoke will have just enough to nick it. I'm going to say 1-0. Watford host Birmingham at Vicarage Road, and what a huge win it was for Birmingham last time out against Reading. Lee Bowyer seems to have made an instant impact. Fair play to him. I think he'll keep them up. And against Watford, 4 wins on the trot. They've really turned a corner recently under Xisco Munoz back in December. But anyway, yeah, I do think Watford will have enough here, and I can't see Lee Bowyer continuing in this form. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Watford. And moving on, Swansea host Cardiff in the South West Wales derby. Swansea, really disappointing defeat to Bournemouth last time out, but you had to say it's been coming. They'll just have to bounce back as quickly as possible, otherwise Watford really could start to get away. The gap's 3 points, although Swansea do have a game in hand, so really nip and tuck at the moment. As for Cardiff, ever since Mick signed his new contract, their playoff push seems to be seeping away, and I think it will continue here. I'll say 1-0 to Swansea. Bournemouth host Southampton in the FA Cup, and yeah, this is a really interesting game. For me, this has definitely got a potential for an upset, because Southampton, they're on just awful form at the moment. And are they totally safe? Who knows? As for Bournemouth, crucial win last time against Swansea. That will breed confidence. They can put a full-strength team out with an international break coming up. So yeah, this is a really interesting game. And you know what? I actually can see an upset happening here. I'm going to say 1-0 to Bournemouth, and then to be off to the semi-finals for the first time. Everton host Manchester City, also in the Cup. And yeah, this is another really interesting game. Everton, they still do have an outside shot of Champions League, but yeah, it's far from likely, you'd have to say. So you wonder if they may just focus on this tournament or put a lot of resources into it. As for Man City, they're in so many competitions, it wouldn't be surprising if Pep rested a few players, even on the verge of the international break. But even then, I do think City will have enough. I'm going to say 2-0. Chelsea host Sheffield United in the next game. And to me, this is quite an interesting game. Sheffield United, they were just dreadful last time out, but they're down now, so why don't they just go all out for it and try and get to Wembley? It'll be some achievement. Who knows if they will? Probably not, though. And Chelsea, what a great run they're on at the moment. They just look so good. They will want to keep this momentum going, and to be honest, I think they will. I think it will be another fairly comfortable win. I'll say 2-0. Moving on, Leicester host Manchester United, and a really interesting one. Leicester having no Thursday night action, you do feel could really play into their hands in this game. But Manchester United, yeah, you just can't rule them out. Players like Pogba and Fernandes, it'll be interesting to see which way it goes. I genuinely think this could go either way, and I've had severe difficulty predicting this. But I'm going to go for a draw with Leicester winning on penalties. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember your thoughts in the comments down below, and to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily football news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.